A Georgia mom losing a necklace that's so much more than just a piece of jewelry.
That necklace with her ashes in it, she was with us.
How people in Atlanta and across the Southeast are trying to help her find the keepsake with her daughter's ashes.
$11,000 for a single drug test. The 11Alive investigators uncovered the big price for patients to prove they're clean on the taxpayer's dime.
New information tonight on the mysterious disappearance of a CDC worker. Will it help police solve the case?
Live from Atlanta, 11Alive at 5 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County. 11Alive Sky Tracker is over the scene of a hazmat fire at ChemLink Laboratory in Kennesaw. That's on Royal Drive. Cobb County Fire confirms a possible chemical reaction may have caused the fire. It's not clear right now if any nearby homes have been evacuated, but you can look for updates on 11alive.com and the 11Alive app.
Well, it is a necklace with a special meaning for a Georgia mother worn in remembrance of a child she lost. Chastity Foster had the necklace made after the death of her daughter, Shaylin, last month.
But she lost it while running a Disney half marathon in her daughter's honor.
That necklace with her ashes in it, she was with us.
Well, that story of this mom's heartbreak has touched so many people online. More than 12,000 of you have shared the story on our Facebook page in hopes that someone will find the necklace and return it to this family. Our John Sherrick spoke with Chastity today, who said losing the necklace was like losing his or her daughter all over again.
I can't even put into words the hurt and the pain this is. It's just devastating.
Chastity Foster speaks of losing her 17-year-old daughter, Shaylin, in a car wreck last month. And you hear agony and pride. Chastity keeping Shaylin alive in people's hearts. Chastity and Shaylin had planned to run the Disney Princess Half Marathon with each other again this past Sunday at Disney World. And Chastity decided she would go there. She would run the race with Shaylin.
Even though Shaylin wasn't physically with us, there was a piece of her, that necklace with her ashes in it. She was with us.
Chastity says she checked again and again to make sure the necklace with Shaylin's ashes would be secured during the race.
And right there, about mile 3, I realized Shaylin's missing, and I became frantic.
Chastity retraced her steps. Disney World has been using metal detectors throughout the park, going through dumpsters and posting notices on its Run Disney Twitter and Facebook. Thousands of people across the country have responded on the lookout.
Tomorrow will be 7 weeks that we have lost Shaylin. And then to have lost this cross with her ashes, it is like losing your child all over again. It's a piece of her.
You hear Chastity Foster speaking of Shaylin. You hear a mom whose world, as she describes it, has collapsed. Shaylin, a family's light in the darkness, proud that Shaylin was going to attend Georgia Southern in the fall to study biomechanical engineering.
She wanted to design prosthetics for children.
A life of dreams and goals, now a memory. Chastity Foster hoping someone found the cross and will find out what it means to her and her family and return it. This cross of memory and life and dreams that belongs next to Chastity Foster's heart. In Atlanta, John Sherrick, 11Alive News.
Tonight we have new information in a story that has gained national interest as the search continues for a missing CDC worker. More than 1 million people are following this story online, and late this afternoon, Chris Hopper spoke to the investigators who revealed some new insight into what happened before Dr. Timothy Cunningham disappeared. Chris?
Yeah, new information, Jeff, but still a mystery tonight. Atlanta police at least admits this story has received as much media attention as it can ever remember. People who watched the press conference today on our Facebook Live asked about conspiracy theories, but tonight the CDC and APD say they're false. Meanwhile, we learned today that Dr. Timothy Cunningham missed out on a promotion at the CDC about a week before his disappearance. Remember, he was last seen there on the 12th. Atlanta police say on that day he spoke more in depth with the supervisor about the promotion he didn't get. He later said he wasn't feeling well and went home. His parents admit he had professional and personal issues and they were concerned. Atlanta police says it will continue to canvass with the dog in that area. APD has searched around his home. A helicopter flew overhead and still nothing. At this point, APD doesn't have any reason to believe foul play is involved, and it says it's highly unusual that all his personal belongings were found in the home, including his dog.
It is not common in missing person cases for us to find someone's entire belongings, their debit cards, their credit cards, their cell phones. We deal with missing person cases fairly regularly here. The circumstances of this one, just beyond the fact that he's a CDC employee, but just as a general person, are unusual in that everything that you would need to sustain yourself is at his home.
And another unusual detail we learned today, police say Cunningham told his neighbor to have his wife delete Cunningham's number out of her phone, and that was the day before he disappeared, Jeff.
What a bizarre story. It is so strange, and it is getting a lot of attention right now.
Yes,
Chris Hopper in our newsroom, thank you. The time frame around when Cunningham disappeared is crucial to this investigation. Here is a look back at what we know so far.
Let's start from the beginning. February 12th, he went home sick from work around 7:30 in the morning after learning he had not been promoted. At 9:12 that morning, he called his mother, but she didn't answer and he didn't leave a message. That evening, a neighbor thinks he saw Cunningham jogging. After not hearing from him, Cunningham's parents ask a relative who lives in the area to use a spare key and check on him. The relative reports back that Cunningham wasn't home, but his car keys and cell phone were in the house. On February 14th at 7:30 in the morning, Cunningham's parents arrive and they find the home empty. 2 hours later, they report him missing.
Now, 2 weeks later, the search for Cunningham continues. And now the reward has been up to $22,000. You can read more about the investigation on 11alive.com and watch an exclusive interview with Cunningham's parents from inside his Atlanta home.
This afternoon, arson investigators returned to the scene of a deadly house fire in northwest Atlanta. A woman was killed after the home went up in flames early this morning. And neighbors tell 11Alive's Naima Abdullahi the tenants who lived there had special needs.
After the fatal house fire on Scott Street took the life of one woman, injuring another and 2 others safely escaping, arson investigators arrived looking for any indication to find out what started the fire.
I hate it, and it's right here next door to me. I didn't know the people, but I'm very sad that, she's passed away.
The investigators collected what appeared to be evidence, telling work crews who were fixing up the house to stop what they're doing so they wouldn't jeopardize the investigation. Neighbors say they woke up to fire trucks and ambulances in their neighborhood, making them concerned for the residents who lived inside this home.
Well, they were friendly people, and I would always speak to them. I didn't interact with them socially, but they were good people, and they always spoke to me.
Residents in the neighborhood tell us the tenants had a caseworker and were placed in the home. Some neighbors saying the residents had special needs. The property owner says that's not true. He said he's focusing on finding another place for the displaced residents to stay.
You hate to lose anyone under any adverse circumstance. We need to learn how to look after each other and care for each other.
Naima Abdullahi, 11Alive News.
Tonight, Atlanta police are searching for a driver who struck an 8-year-old girl, then drove off. It happened this afternoon on Sisk Street in northwest Atlanta. Police say the victim hurt her leg and was then taken to the hospital. The little girl was not able to provide police with a description of the vehicle. Tonight,
a Stone Mountain woman is behind bars, charged in the death of a young girl who was hit by a car while walking to the bus stop. 38-year-old Ella J. Hugh Tessagay is facing several charges, including homicide by vehicle. She turned herself in earlier today. The 8-year-old girl was crossing the street with her mother back on February 16th when the suspect hit both of them. The victim's mother was not seriously hurt.
What a great day we had out there today. Finally, a break in all of the clouds and off and on showers. And temperatures were still warm out there today, but with the sunshine, it was just a really great day. Now, I hope you enjoyed it today, because remember we told you yesterday, don't get used to it, because we have a system that's out to the west that is building yet again. You can see the showers and storms with this through parts of Louisiana, also into Arkansas, moving up into Missouri, back into Oklahoma, also into Texas. This is beginning to move into Mississippi. Now, I know you're looking at this thinking, okay, this is still 2 states away. It's going to take a while before this gets here. Well, this is moving pretty quickly, and as we go through the evening hours tonight, you're going to begin to notice the clouds increasing somewhat, and then by tomorrow morning, as you're driving into work, we're going to be dealing with the rain already at that time. So here's how it looks right now. This is in Gwinnett County, looking toward the west. We're not seeing any clouds building there yet. Those clouds will start to build in a little bit more later on tonight. Meanwhile, we are still in this warm air mass that we've been dealing with, but it's not record-breaking or anything, but temperatures above the average. 65 right now, a little cooler in Blairsville and Clayton at 58 degrees, and compare that to 70 degrees on the south side down in LaGrange. During the evening hours tonight, we will see temperatures staying mild pretty much in the 50s. As we go through the evening hours and also overnight as clouds increase and the rain returns. Stay with us. We're going to let you know how long this rain is going to stick around with some impressive amounts. Some spots in North Georgia may even have to go under a flood watch. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Chris, thank you. Tomorrow is crossover day inside the state capitol. It is the day much of the legislation proposed this year will die because bills failed to cross over by passing either the House or the Senate. It will be a day of drama for those backing or opposing many measures. Here's 11Alive's Doug Richards with more.
Over the last 2 years, members of the House and Senate have introduced some 2,300 resolutions and nearly 1,500 bills, and most of it will vaporize on crossover day. A bill to consolidate Metro Atlanta's public transit agencies will likely live. Portions of the measure have already passed the Senate, and 2 more are on the Senate's crossover day calendar. But the distracted driving bill, which would outlaw handheld cell phone use, now commonplace in automobiles, may not. It would have to pass the House Wednesday to make it past crossover day. The now controversial jet fuel tax bill has already crossed over. A bill that would require public schools to start later in August will not make it, according to its sponsor.
We were going to have to work on that, and we're going to have some hearings after crossover day, and we're going to continue the conversation right on into to next year.
Which means Ron Stevens will have to reintroduce his bill next year. A medical marijuana bill that approves 2 new ailments for treatment could cross over, but may not. A bill requiring video reviews of contested high school football championship games is unlikely to make the cut. So is a bill that would require paper election ballots starting next year. Crossover day predictions can be tricky, says Senate Rules Committee Chairman Jeff Mullis.
You never know which bill will get hung up, meaning we'll have a lengthy debate on. So it could be in the late afternoon, early evening, or to midnight.
What's certain is that crossover day will start off slowly like every day does at the legislature, with prayers and commendations for random folks and unrelated speeches before any of the first votes are cast. Then it will get serious and probably stay that way into the night. At the Capitol, Doug Richards, 11Alive News.
A single patient racking up $95,000 in drug tests, and Georgia taxpayers are left footing the bill. Tonight, our 11Alive investigators are holding the powerful accountable.